everybody, Drax Fantastic here. Today we're going to look at a game called Uber Urban. What a great name. It's a city builder, but not your standard city builder. Handcrafted maps laid out on a grid system. It has a number of maps to unlock and a couple of ways to play. There's a standard mode, which is sort of like a challenge mode that helps you unlock more maps. And then it has Sandbox, which has actually some really nice options where you can pretty much play on unlimited. So it truly is a sandbox. Unlock everything. Build a beautiful city how you want to build it. I like that. I think more games need that option to say, hey, listen, you want to challenge yourself. Here's this mode. But if you want to make pretty things and just have fun creatively, there's this option too. I love it. Another twist is there are elections and politics, which is something you don't see in every city builder. We're not going to dig into that today. I want to leave that for you to explore on your own. The version of the game I'm showing you is early access. I've played a few hours to get a feel for it. Let's jump in and build an uber urban city. Funding for this video is provided by viewers like you. All right, here we are. I chose the tutorial city on standard edition, begin tutorial, skip tutorial. I've gone through the tutorial a couple of times. I'm going to skip it and we're just going to jump in. It leads you along pretty easy. It's not too complicated to get a sense of the game. I think there's a couple of mechanics I really want to talk about in this playthrough. And then towards the end, I want to show you a creative build I was messing with. As you can see, a basic layout for a city builder. We've got some service coverage areas, which is all of the different services. We've only got electricity to start. At the top right, we can speed up and slow down the time. We've got the date. We've got the current milestones, what we need to get through. Small, large, incorporated. You can see they go all the way down. 200,000 people. We've got the tutorial objectives on the right here. And then down on the left, you can see how many people. We've got 0. And then our favorite little meters showing us residential, commercial, and industrial. Standard. Roads, zones, services, transportation, nature, finances, resource, and trade. We're going to spend a lot of time in here, and I've got a couple questions about this screen. All right, so let's start by just laying out some roads, and you can see it's a pretty big grid, and I don't have like a go-to option for this, so let's just start down the middle, and we'll do like, and you can see some of these will do this. I'm just going to lay this out. We're going to throw in some houses. Now you can see the little things are saying, hey, we need electricity. We've got a little pop-up there saying inadequate power. You can see here we're lacking services in the top right, and we're also negative cash flow. If we click this, it's going to open the services menu. We're producing 0 and we're consuming 37, so that's a negative. Now if we come down here to services and press power, you can see we've got a trusty windmill. It's going to produce 50 megawatts. Uh-oh, that truck is driving into the ocean. The placement of these is not like you need to be close to a road, and I always try to place these kind of services like on the edge where I can't place anything else. So we'll click that, and then we should see the power pop up. There it is. We've got a little bit. Now to deal with the cash flow problem, we can come into finance, and you can see we're making $8 a day, and we're spending $387. At the top, we've got a couple of different tabs here. Revenue, that's how we're making money, basically just off residential. Expenses, we can adjust the expenses like in any good city builder. We can take all of these to a lower amount, and then we should be able to start saving some money. I wish we could take, and I'm going to talk about this, we can take loans out too. I'm going to talk about this, but like, I wish we could take this screen and kind of merge them into one, because like if I'm trying to lower this down, I have to have I gotta have this window open, and then I gotta open the finance window, and then I can't really see like, I'd love to see something like, here's the current power you're consuming, and as you lower it, you can see it adjust so that you don't have to come back out here to look. Now I'm actually just right on the money. We're still losing money, but that's to be expected because we don't have anything else going on. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is gonna lay down some commercial zones. And you can see we've got low density commercial here. I'm going to put these right in here. And then I'm going to lay down some more roads. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to talk about industrial. And the industrial zones are kind of fun. And this is a little bit different than other city builders I've seen. I'm going to pause this just one second. So if we come in an industrial here, you can see that there's a drop down and you've got grain, vegetables, animals, fruit, and tobacco. And this list grows as we add more things all the way up to, and I'm not kidding, you can build cars to meet the demand. So this is another one for me where it's a twofold situation. Here's where we lay the industrial. So let's say we want to make some grain. So we'll go right here. And then I'm going to say we want to make some vegetables. And then I'm going to say, let's make some animals and fruit. I'm going to lay a little bit more road. We're going to come back in and say, let's make some tobacco. All right, now we can hit play. I turned up the power budget so that we meet the demand. And now you'll see that all of these little farms have been built. And if we come into the resource trade tab, under resources, we can see if we're meeting the demand. So for grain, we're producing not enough to make the consumption. Oh, there it pops up. So now we're meeting the demand with 0 surplus. Vegetables, we've got a deficit. Animals, we're meeting the demand. Fruit, we're meeting the demand. And tobacco, we're almost there. So this screen is great. And you spend a lot of time in here, sort of trying to get these numbers to be where they need to be. I don't know how you could do this better, but I think maybe a little thing up here saying here's where you're at, like a little, I don't know, maybe like a little heads up on the display so I wouldn't have to keep, I spend so much time coming in here to be like, all right, where are we? All right, we need more grain. All right, we're out of power. All right, so I'm going to lay down another one of these. And the game, remember, is in early access. So there's lots more that will be refined over time. We're still, and it gives you a little red dot to say, hey, Drex, you're still not making it. So basically we're having a little bit of grain issues, which is going to be easy. It's easy juggling this in the beginning because the demand isn't so high. And these are saying we're lacking resources, which is basically things to sell from what I can gather. All right, so we're still not, and remember, so grain and vegetables and animals. So these are base commodities. As the city grows, we're going to use these base commodities to make other products. I love that. I love the progression of it, right? It's not just a simple, lay down a bunch of zones and watch it all grow. The industrial side feeds into the growth of the city. And you can see we're at 197 people. We just need to add a couple of more houses. And I'm going to just do a little cul-de-sac of houses here. Let those grow. Lacking resources. We still haven't met the grain. And the reason we haven't met the grain is because there's not enough people to build out the farms, right? That's also something. You need people to work the farms. So sometimes you get this stop and you're like, what's going on? And it's because you need more people to to actually work. You need people to work. Big surprise. All right. How are we doing? Look at this. Everything's in the green. The next progress up's 500. So we just got to get in here and add some more houses. To be honest, the first couple times I played this game, it was hard for me to get it to click. And as I've played it more, and I'm a lifelong city building fan. I love city builders. I love all different kinds of city builders. I think it's one of these types of games where you honestly just need to give it more time. Need to give it more time, Drax. And it really began to click. And then the inevitable happened. I got lost in it. Hey, we did it. Milestone reached. Small village. Got it. All right, so with every milestone up, you can see, I paused the game, there's new added services, which equals new added problems. So now we have to provide water to the city. If we come under services, we'll see a new tab for water. We've got a couple options here. We can do a small water tower or a large water tower, and we can see the cost to build, how much it's produced, and the upkeep daily. I am going to go... I'm going to go this big one. I'm going to put it right here in the middle. And then we're going to hit play. That should take care of it. I guess there's one other thing I forgot to talk about. And in the beginning, you can build ground transportation. So you can do a truck depot. I'm going to put this just right here, just for fun. And if we if we want to, we can sell stuff to make money. So we can come here to resource trade and say, what are we making a ton of? And we're making a ton of grain, 140. So now we can come into this truck depot. So this is a great way to make money. And we can say, hey, it's also if you need to bring in goods that you can't make, this is another way of doing it. I don't know if I've ever seen this kind of detail in a city builder before. So then you say export, and we want to trade some grain, and we can trade up to 250 is what it says. I'm going to say we're going to get rid of 100. We'll make 100 extra dollars. We'll hit play on this. And then if we come to finances, we can come here and look at our overview. And we're actually doing okay. Revenue from taxes is quite robust. Our expenses are not too bad. And so it gives us a nice overview. And remember, it'll tell you up here, if you're like up in the right corner, it'll be like, hey, you're losing money. And you can also see here in the bottom right, the little green arrow there shows you that you're in the green, if you will, or in the black. Looks like we have another power deficit. I think we have a new option for power too. Now we can do a coal power plant. I'll build one of those just so you can see it. Boom. And we should see the power jump up considerably. Yeah, so now we're producing 650. And honestly, we can probably get rid of these windmills, but I'm going to just leave them. I'm going to leave them. We've also got some new things that have been unlocked. Food products, which basically need vegetables, grains, fruits, and animals. So all of the basic ingredients we're making. And then textiles are just textiles. They're produced. So it looks like we've got some deficits, grain, vegetables, and tobacco. Let's build some more industrial. Another stat I would like to see is a little bit more granular, like you've got this many extra people that are sort of like an unemployment number. And I don't see that in here. And I think that would be helpful. Because like when the unemployment number is like 0, like everyone's employed, then you're like, okay, cool. Now I need more houses. You could also see here under zones, we now have a couple of new zones, which are medium density and also high density commercial. We can actually upgrade the high density stuff by just coming in and clicking over the top of it. We can also do that for the residential. We can come in here and say, hey, let's upgrade these to medium density. And we should see them pop up into cool new row houses. And this should add a considerable amount of more people. I think my question here too is, and I don't know, I've played this game a bunch, but like, I just keep upgrading the zones, but is there a plus to having low or medium zones? Because there's also high zones that put up skyscrapers, which is amazing. So I think a little bit more of like explanation of like, do we need low zones? Can they all just be high zones? Does it matter? All right. Okay, so now we're producing a lot of grains and a lot of vegetables. We need a little bit more tobacco, and we need to start producing food products and textiles. So let's do both of those things. It looks like we're just shy of 1,000 people. Should we add a couple of more neighborhoods? Should we do some fun like... and we'll do all medium density here. All medium density. Hey! I like the row house ones. These ones are fun. Look at that. The graphics are great. The sound's amazing. The music is quite nice for a game of this type. Doesn't get too repetitive. I've left it on most of the time. I've got it kind of quiet just so you can hear me talking. All right, I built a bunch more houses. We've unlocked the large village since we have 2,000 people. You can see it immediately. It's like, you've got inadequate services, Drax. This opened up some new services, of course. Now we have garbage to deal with. We can put a big, large landfill here. See if we can squeeze it in. No, everyone wants a large landfill out back. And you can also see now we have transportation as well. This opens up the transportation tab. So not only is there truck depots, but now we can do bus depots. We can lay this in here, and that should make that go away. Good. We still have positive cash flow. It's also going to add some new zones. We've got low density mixed use, and we also have office buildings now, which are quite fun. Let's just take a quick look at those. If we do a fun little one of these, we can come in here. And just like with industrial, there's different types of offices. You've got security monitoring, customer support, data entry, and marketing. And we're going to see these broken down in a minute. So I'm going to build like a little bit of security, a little bit of customer support, a little bit of data entry, and some marketing. Oh, marketing. Look at those cool buildings. And you can see that already crashed. These big users already crashed like electricity. We need more utility. I'm going to throw a couple more in here so we can get rid of the blinkingness. We'll put another one of these in. And I'm not necessarily paying too much mind to my money during this show of you, but like it's something you need to be smart about the buildings you put down and how much you fund them, just like in any good city builder. Because see, we're already down to $30,000, me just, putting stuff down. All right, under resources and trade now, you'll see that if we keep scrolling, we've got security monitoring, customer support, data entry, and these are basically just services. So it's good for overall city growth. They're jobs. We're producing jobs at this point. And it looks like we're meeting the demand everywhere else. This is the tutorial, obviously, and it's the easiest part. And this is just the very basics. I'm going to jump forward and show you a little bit of the creative, just to show you all the different things that are unlocked and all the different things you can build. And the maps get so much bigger. It's just a really nice, unique city builder. All right, here's the sandbox mode I was just kind of messing around with. I wanted to see some of the buildings, and I wanted to see a little bit further in progression. You can see here, I've got you can do seaports. I was messing around a little bit with the trains, and you can see here kind of a cool, it reminds me of an old game I used to play that had similar looking train models. And then it just kind of disappears in there. If we look under zones now, we can see all the zones have been unlocked. We've got high density residential now, as well as high density mixed use commercial. All the industries are unlocked all the way down to vehicles and machinery, kind of fun. If we look under the resource tab, we can now see all the way down here. You've got vehicles and machinery, tobacco products. So basically we're making cigarettes, which is not great. There's a whole process for making electronics and oil and metals that sort of feed off of each other that is the same mechanic from what we saw at the very start of the game. So it does get more robust, it does get much bigger, and it does get a whole heck of a lot more complicated. Under the transportation options, you can see we have rail, water, and there's an airport. I haven't built one of these. Oh, wow, look at the size of that. Ah! I think Drax used the cheater mode there. We didn't talk at all about governments. Like I said, I wanted to leave this sort of for you to explore if you decide this game is for you. You'll find policies in most city builders. Polls, which I think are really fun, I'm going to let you check out. And then elections, you've got to win the election every year. And I think this is a really cool mechanic to kind of keep you from just sort of being not a great city, not a great mayor. If you lose the election, you lose the game. So you've got to do right by your city. I really like that mechanic. The game is uber urban, a fun little city manager with a couple of different twists. I think it's definitely worth checking out. It's in early access now. Hey, even if you're like, oh, I don't know, add it to your wish list. Do the dev a favor. They've worked really hard on this game. I enjoy it. I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. As always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon. The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.